Hey everyone, my name is Joe and I'm a theologian who loves movies and music and television and all things pop culture. I like seeing how these things intersect with theology. So come join me in the conversation. Remember, this is a Theo Bro free zone. We are not interested in trolling, in arguing, or debating, just in great conversation. So I recently saw two horror movies back to back. Both have to do with the consequences of belief versus unbelief and the choices that we make as a result. The first one was Heretic, and while I didn't really find it that scary, I particularly liked Hugh Grant's icy performance, and I especially enjoyed the game of cat and mouse between the characters as well. I also really enjoyed the ideas thrown around about religion. Without spoiling anything that was beyond the movie trailer, Hugh Grant plays the mysterious and creepy Mr. Reed, who welcomes two young Mormon missionaries into his home. I remember one scene in particular. He tries to make the argument that all religions are derivative of each other. He does this as a way to sort of diminish the girl's religious beliefs.
Have you ever played the Parker Brothers game, Monopoly? Monopoly is currently published in 47 languages. They sell it in over 114 countries. They say over 1 billion people have played Monopoly, but I'm guessing that only a fraction of that billion have actually finished it. Maybe that reminds you of something else?
Mr. Reed unfortunately uses what a lot of people do when discussing religion, which is, I think, a very simplistic way of looking at religions. He uses the history of the board game Monopoly to show that, like the board game that came before it, and all the different Monopoly versions to come after it, monotheistic faiths are just the same religion reworked over time.
There are three major monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. I call them the Big Three. Judaism, i.e., the original edition; Christianity, i.e., the most popular edition; and Islam, the newer, second most popular edition.
While it's true that Christianity is closely tied to Judaism, and Islam is closely tied to both Judaism and Christianity, the argument overlooks the vast theological differences between the three. Like a lot of first-year religious studies students, Mr. Reed collapses all of the nuances of historical context within the religions themselves. In addition, I think when the character blithely tries to compare the various mythologies around December 25th, he fails miserably. And yet I think the movie is trying to say this is a valid argument. This is an error that so many people make when it comes to thinking about the connections that they make between the various world religions. To be fair to the film, they allow a comeback by Sister Barnes.
You make no acknowledgement of the religious persecution Jewish people have faced. You just use it as a setup to a punchline about missionaries. I don't think that my point of view fits into belief or disbelief. I think there's an entire spectrum that your game is neglecting. So it doesn't matter what I believe, does it?
The second movie I saw was a beautifully shot film called The Damned. Set in Iceland in the 19th century, it's about a woman who struggles to run and maintain a small fishing outpost after her husband dies. One particularly brutal winter, she and her crew make the difficult choice to stand by and watch sailors in distress drown rather than help with their own limited resources.
Poor bastards. They must have got stuck on the teeth when the tide turned. The hell were they doing this far north? Almighty God, protect these men and give them the help that they need.
and save them from the perilous sea.
They're soon haunted by dark forces and must face the consequences of their decision. I really liked in this film that the characters struggle with what they've always been taught religiously, that they never quite believed, and yet the reality of the things happening around them sort of force them to look at what it is that they believe. So those are just some recommendations. Have any of you seen any of these films? What did you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.